favorite meatballs and homemade spaghetti sauce. I absolutely love spaghetti. It's like so simple, but I love it. And I've been asked like what would be my last meal choice if I only have one more meal. And it's always so hard for me. I honestly don't know. I don't know if I would want like barbecue because I love tri-tip and burgers and ribs, or if I would want like Mexican food. I love burgers and tacos, but I love pasta so much. It's like my comfort food. So honestly, I have no idea what would be my last meal, and spaghetti meatballs might be one of my options just because I love it so much, especially when it's homemade pasta sauce. And it's so easy, so there's nothing not to love about it. So I am ending 2020 with a glass of red wine and homemade meatballs and pasta sauce, and I am taking you along so that you can learn how to make this super yummy pasta dish. Because who doesn't love spaghetti and meatballs? Let's go. All right, to start our meatballs, I have some ground hamburger and Italian sausage. We are going to add 1 egg and some breadcrumbs, and I am using a garlic and herb mix breadcrumb. We're also going to add some Parmesan. I'm using the grated Parmesan that you can get in the bottle. You can also do shredded Parm. And then adding our spices. I will leave a complete description of all the spices down below, along with the rest of the ingredients and measurements. And then you're going to want to mix everything really, really well. And I found that using your hands is the best way to get everything incorporated and mixed in, and makes it just easier to roll the meatballs afterwards.
Stars want to fly with you, babe. We're going to reach the sky, feel the vibes. Let's start a party. My way to the stars want to fly with you, babe.
Okay, so after you get everything mixed really well, you're gonna want to start rolling your meatballs. You can use a small ice cream scooper or one of those fruit scoopers if you have one of those ones. I just prefer to use my hands, and it's important that you roll these balls into approximately the same size, otherwise they won't cook evenly. So whatever method you use to roll them, whether it's your hands or a scooper, just make sure that you're consistent in your sizing throughout so that they all cook evenly together.
We're going to reach the sky, feel the vibes. Let's start a party.
after you roll all of your meatballs, you're going to want to cover them and then put them in the fridge while you start your sauce. And now for our sauce, we're going to start by sauteing some yellow onion and some garlic. You're going to want to saute them until the onion is translucent and the garlic is nice and fragrant. So after you've sauteed your onions and garlic, you're going to want to add your tomatoes. I am doing 2 cans of Italian diced tomatoes. This is where you can get extra creative and do whatever tomatoes you prefer. There's so many varieties of canned tomatoes. You could also do like whole stewed tomatoes, but I just prefer to use the smaller ones. If you wanted like a spicier pasta sauce, you could also do the fire roasted tomatoes. This is just where you can get creative, but this is how I'm doing it. I'm doing my Italian stewed, or my Italian tomatoes, and then I add a little bit of sugar and the rest of my spices. And like I said before, I will leave all the spices and measurements in the description below. But like I always tell you guys, I am giving this to you as a roadmap. Measure with your heart, measure however you want to do it, make it so that it's for you and your family and that you guys love it. I'm just giving you a little roadmap and a little bay leaf in there. So mix it all up and then you're going to put a top on it and let it simmer for about an hour.
And before we end the video, I want you to think about what your last meal might be and leave me a comment below and let me know what you guys think your last meal would be. Would you go with something as simple as pasta, or would you go super like fancy and do like a steak and lobster? I'm allergic to shellfish, so lobster and shrimp would never even come to my mind. But let me know what you would do for your last meal.
Okay, so by now your house is smelling freaking amazing. You're going to add in a can of tomato paste. Mix it up. It's going to start to thicken your sauce up really nice, and you're almost ready to add your meatballs. Your tomato paste is mixed in really well, you're going to want to add in some heavy whipping cream to really bring everything together. It cuts down on some of the acidity in the sauce, and it also just makes it extra creamy. So mix it in really well, and then it is time to add the meatballs.
My way to the stars, want to fly with you, babe. Feel the vibes. Let's start a party.
Now we're gonna start putting our meatballs in. I just put them in, space them out a little bit. I didn't make too many, so they fit into this pot really well. But just drop them in there, and then after you get them all in, you're gonna want to take a spoon and kind of mix them around a little bit so that they're fully in the sauce. We're going to put the top on and let it cook for another 30 minutes, but about halfway through them cooking, you're going to want to take your spoon and kind of stir them up a little bit, flip them over a little bit so that they cook and get really soaked in that sauce on both sides.
We're going to reach the sky, feel the vibes. Let's start a party.
Okay, there you have it. After 30 minutes of cooking low and slow, here is my homemade meatball and pasta sauce. It is ready to serve over some spaghetti noodles. You will not regret this. It is so easy and so delicious. My brother and his girlfriend came over later that night, and it was well after I had cooked and cleaned up, and they were talking about how amazing my house smelt. It made them hungry. My brother raided my pantry after this. So give it a try. It's also great for leftovers. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next Sunday.